Okay, picture this scenario. It's 6 a.m., the alarm just screaming at you. It doesn't sound like, an invitation to a new day. It sounds like a personal attack.
It feels personal, yeah. It's that feeling where gravity seems to have doubled overnight.
Exactly. You roll over, you peel your eyes open, and you just know immediately the sleep bank is completely empty.
The brain fog is thick, the eyelids are heavy. I think we've all been there.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you were up late working, maybe you were just doom scrolling, or maybe the neighbor's dog was barking at a ghost for 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever the reason, you feel absolutely wrecked. And then that second realization hits you.
Ah, the workout.
You have a workout scheduled for this morning.
Yeah.
Or maybe a big training session planned for later.
And you are standing at that classic crossroads.
Do you power through? Do you, chug enough caffeine to kill a small horse and just hit the gym? Or is it better to stay in bed and tell yourself you're prioritizing recovery?
It is the ultimate fitness dilemma. And the advice you usually find is just, it's all over the place. You've got the sleek is king camp, and then the grind camp that says sleep when you're dead.
Right, neither of which is helpful in the moment. So today we're going to move past the slogans. We're not talking about sleep hygiene. We're looking at the immediate crisis. The damage is done. You didn't sleep. Now what?
We want to move away from how you feel, which we know is terrible, and look at what the objective data says about how your body actually performs.
And for that, we've got a massive stack of research. We're diving into a meta-analysis by Craven et al. That's 69 studies, over 200 outcomes, and a review by Fulligar et al. On the why behind it all.
And our mission is really to answer that question. Does lack of sleep actually ruin your workout, or is it mostly in your head?
And the answer, I'm guessing, is not a simple yes or no.
Not at all. It's one of those cases where the data really kind of contradicts our intuition.
Okay, let's unpack that. Because I think most of us assume, I feel like garbage, my performance is going to be garbage.
That's the assumption, yeah. But this is where the Craven meta-analysis is so interesting. They looked at acute sleep loss, so basically getting less than 6 hours.
Just a bad night. We've all had those.
Exactly. And the first thing they found is this really sharp distinction between your perception and your reality. Meaning working out feels significantly harder. That rate of perceived exertion, or RPE, it just goes way up.
So the suffering is real. I'm not imagining the barbell feels heavier.
The suffering is absolutely real. Your brain is interpreting the effort as being much, much higher. But the objective performance decline, what your muscles can actually do, is different than you might expect.
Okay, so hit us with the numbers. How bad is the damage?
So the researchers actually quantified it. They found this sort of rule of thumb. On average, for every hour of sleep debt.
Every hour you're awake when you should be sleeping.
Exactly. For every one of those hours, performance declines by roughly 0.4%.
0.4%. That sounds incredibly tiny.
It does sound small, but you have to do the math on a real-world scenario.
Okay, let me try. So, say I usually sleep 8 hours. Last night I got 4. I'm missing 4 hours of sleep.
Right, you're 4 hours in the hole.
So 4 times 0.4, that's 1.6%. Maybe round it up to 2 or 3%, depending on the person.
Precisely. You're looking at being about 2 to 3% weaker that day, statistically.
Okay, see, when you say it like that, it sounds manageable. But what does being 3% weaker actually feel like in the gym? Do you even notice that?
You do notice it, but it's not catastrophic. The source used a great analogy for this.
Okay.
A 2 to 3% drop isn't the difference between benching 200 pounds and then suddenly failing at 100. It's not a total collapse.
Your muscles don't just turn to jelly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's more like the difference between hitting your usual last rep on a tough set or failing that set 1 rep early.
Oh, that's a great way to visualize it. So I'm not going to get crushed by the bar. I just might not have that final kick. It's the difference between an A+ workout and like a B+ workout.
Exactly. It's a tangible impact. You are performing worse, but you aren't incapable. The machine still works. It's just running at slightly less than 100%.
This is where it gets really interesting for me, though. Because the study didn't just look at exercise as one big thing, right? They broke it down.
Huge difference. And this was one of the most critical findings. They categorized things like anaerobic power, strength, endurance, and skill-based tasks.
And was there a clear loser?
Oh, there was. The big loser, the one that suffered the most, was skill-based tasks.
Skill-based. So we're talking about things that need coordination.
Yes. Fine motor control, precision, reaction time. Think about like a tennis serve, shooting a basketball, a complex gymnastic movement.
Anything where the brain needs to talk to the muscles really fast.
And very precisely. That connection takes a massive hit. It's like there's static on the line, your brain knows what to do, but the signal gets a little fuzzy.
That makes so much sense. When I'm tired, I'm clumsy, I drop my keys, I trip over nothing. It stands to reason I wouldn't be able to hit a fastball.
Exactly, but here's the contrast that surprises people. Strength and power performance. They were affected a fair bit less.
Right.
They still dropped consistently. But your raw force production seems to be much more resilient to sleep loss than fine motor skill.
So if I'm sleep deprived, a heavy, simple movement like a squat might actually be more successful than trying to do some complicated agility drill.
Theoretically, yes. Your ability to just grunt and push seems to be preserved better than your ability to coordinate a complex movement. If you have to choose, simple and heavy might be better than light and complex.
That is completely counterintuitive. I would thought, I'm tired, don't lift heavy, you'll get hurt.
I mean, please don't juggle while lifting weights.
Right.
But yes, that's the gist. Simple, gross motor patterns are robust. Complex, fine motor patterns are fragile.
Okay, so we know the what. We get a little weaker, a lot clumsier, but the research also went into the when, and this part kind of blew my mind. Apparently not all lost sleep is created equal.
No, it's not. The pattern of how you lose the sleep matters just as much.
So walk us through it. What's the worst case scenario for our listener here?
The worst case is what they call total sleep deprivation, your classic all-nighter or late-night restriction.
Late night restriction, so staying up way too late.
Right, staying up till 2 or 3 a.m. and then trying to get up at your normal time. That scenario seems to hurt performance the most.
Okay, and the alternative, what's the lesser evil?
The lesser evil is early restriction. So you go to bed at your normal time, but you wake up significantly earlier.
You cut the sleep off at the end instead of delaying the beginning.
Exactly. The data suggests that waking up early had a smaller negative impact on performance than staying up late, even if the total hours were the same.
What does this mean for productivity then? This seems like it has implications way beyond the gym.
It really does. And the source basically suggests that if you have urgent work to do or a training session you have to fit in, you're objectively better off waking up early to do it rather than staying up late.
Wow. Okay, the night owls are not going to like hearing that. But the data says go to bed, set the alarm for 4 a.m., and get it done then.
That's what it suggests, yeah. And there's another layer to this timing thing. The time of day you actually train.
Oh, right. Does it matter if I work out at 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. after a bad night?
It seems to. Workouts done in the evening suffered more than morning sessions.
Why is that? I would have thought giving myself all day to wake up would be better.
You'd think so, but you're fighting biology. It's likely due to the buildup of fatigue and sleep pressure. From the moment you wake up, a chemical called adenosine starts to build in your brain.
The sleep chemical.
Right. When you wake up tired, you might have a little window in the morning where cortisol is high and you can function. But as the day goes on, that biological drive to sleep just gets stronger and stronger.
So by the evening, your body's already starting to shut down.
Exactly. So if you wake up after a bad night and you're debating going to the gym now or after work,
Go now.
definitely go now. By 6 p.m., the chances of you even getting there, let alone having a good session, they drop significantly.
That is super practical advice. Okay, I'm going to pivot to the why. We know the performance drops, but what is actually happening under the hood? You mentioned that Foligar review.
Right, this is the physiology, and it paints a picture of a body that's just under siege. The first thing is your nervous system. You get an increase in sympathetic activity.
Okay, that's fight or flight.
Yes, exactly. And a reduction in parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. So your body perceives a threat. It gets stuck in a state of high alert.
So your baseline stress is elevated before you even touch a weight.
Yes. Think of it like a car idling at 4,000 RPM. You're just burning fuel sitting at the stoplight.
That explains that wired but tired feeling.
It's a perfect way to put it. Then you have fuel issues. The review mentions that glycogen repletion.
Refueling your muscles.
Right, that can be impaired. Your body becomes a little bit insulin resistant. It's not using fuel as efficiently. But if we go back to why skill tasks suffer so much, we have to look at the brain.
The cognitive decline.
Exactly. Slower reaction times, worse decision-making, and this thing called reduced motor memory consolidation.
Motor memory consolidation.
Yeah.
That's the brain cementing how to do something, right?
It is. When you learn a new skill, your brain takes in the data during practice. But it doesn't really save the file until you sleep.
Sleep is the save button.
Sleep is the save button. If you don't sleep, you're not saving your progress. And that connects perfectly to why those skill-based tasks suffer the most. Your brain just isn't sharp.
It's amazing how it all connects. The physiology perfectly explains that 2 to 3% drop we talked about.
It really does. It's a complete picture of a system under stress, but, and this is important, a system that's still functional.
So we have the data, we have the biology, we need the verdict. I'm listening to this. I slept 5 hours. I feel gross. Should I skip the gym?
The source material is actually quite encouraging here. The verdict is, it is usually worth getting the workout in.
Even if it's going to be a mediocre workout, even if I know I'm operating at 97%.
Yes, because exercise positively impacts your sleep for the next night. It helps create a positive feedback loop.
Ah, so skipping it might just guarantee you sleep poorly again.
You might just feel lethargic all day and struggle to sleep again.
Yeah, okay, but we can't just go in and pretend everything is normal. We need a game plan. What's the playbook for the sleep-deprived athlete?
Okay, so based on the sources, first step, don't panic.
Hard to do when you're tired and emotional, but okay.
Try your best. But seriously, the data shows one bad night won't break your long-term progress. You aren't losing muscle overnight.
Okay, so keep the big picture in mind.
Second, modify. Reduce the difficulty a little bit. Maybe stop one rep earlier than you usually do. Don't go to absolute failure.
Check your ego at the door. If you usually squat 300, maybe today is a 285 day.
Precisely. Be okay with a B-plus workout. And third, shift. This is the big one. If you had a high-skill session planned, move it to another day.
Don't try to learn when your brain can't save the file.
Exactly. Swap it for a simpler strength session or some cardio, something your body can do on autopilot. And finally, schedule.
Train in the morning.
Get it done in the morning. Rip the Band-Aid off.
I love that. It's a very forgiving approach. It's not suck it up, but it's also not give up and stay on the couch.
It's the path of consistency. A modified workout is infinitely better than no workout.
So to recap for everyone listening, because we covered a lot of ground here.
Let's hit the highlights.
Number 1, the 0.4% rule. You lose about that much performance for every hour of sleep debt. It's significant, but manageable.
Number 2, skill suffers more than strength. Your brain takes a bigger hit than your muscles, so if you're tired, keep it simple.
Number 3, timing matters. Early mornings beat late nights. If you have to cut sleep, wake up early. And if you have to train, do it in the morning.
And finally, the biology shows a system under stress. But the engine still runs. You just have to drive it a little more carefully.
Which brings us to our final thought. And this is something I want you, the listener, to really think about the next time that alarm goes off and you want to bail.
We mentioned that exercise improves sleep quality.
Right. So consider this. The decision to skip a workout because you're too tired might actually be the very thing that guarantees another night of bad sleep.
You could be trapping yourself in a cycle of fatigue.
Exactly. You skip the gym, you don't build up that sleep pressure, you sleep poorly again, you wake up tired again. The way out of the trap is often just to move, even imperfectly.
Even if it's just 2% weaker than yesterday, movement is the medicine.
So next time you're wrecked, maybe just go lift something heavy but simple. Thanks for diving in with us.
Sleep well, everyone.